Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon E3 2019 special, day 3. Can we just declare now that Nintendo was like the standout press conference?
Yep, I think we can, and we don't even have to talk about them.
I still want to talk about them.
Oh, I didn't say we weren't going to talk about them. I just said we didn't have to talk about them to declare it.
Yeah. Because, we've been using Destructoid's recaps just to make sure we're, hitting everything that was there. In their votes, Nintendo won by a landslide compared to everybody else but Square. But even there is a distinct margin from Square.
Well, and I'd say a lot of Square's boils down to the 7 remake.
Yes.
So, yeah.
According to them, the loved plus enjoyed votes, 88.6% for Nintendo, 74.72% for Square, 55.19% for Microsoft, 44% for Bethesda, 43.5% for the PC Gaming Show, 15% for Ubisoft, 5.1% for EA. And for historical reference, would you like to take a guess of who was last year's top, according to them?
Who should have been or who probably was?
Either case.
Should have been the same as this year, Nintendo.
But
probably was maybe... That's a good question. I don't even really remember too much from them.
It turned out to be Microsoft, 76.
I wanted to say Microsoft, but I wasn't sure on that one. I was like, maybe
Nintendo
I'm thinking of a wrong one.
Yeah, Nintendo ended up taking second at 60%, Bethesda 44%, Ubisoft 42%, Sony 34%, PC Gaming Show 26%, Square Enix 11%, and EA 3%. EA continues to be the bottom of the barrel. Square Enix jumped to second place through the power of nostalgia.
Yep, because that's all that was. And anyone say different?
Honestly, yeah, I think a lot of the love for Square is going to be that 7 presentation. Because even Giant Bomb were even talking about how, I think it was either Giant Bomb or Easy Allies were talking about how that 7 presentation was really good, but everything was kind of getting downhill from there. Because nothing really was exciting as that. Not even Avengers, which wasn't even really shown off. It was talked about more than shown off. And even the talkabouts really didn't give us the best sense of the game outside of this is a live service game, and that's not a good thing. But anyway, do you want to start from the not as interesting top or the really interesting bottom?
You know what? I think let's do it the same way Nintendo did and just go with the not so interesting top down.
Okay. So kicking things off, we got our first character reveal for Smash Ultimate coming in the summer.
I'll go ahead and say our what everyone thought was our character reveal.
Yes. The Luminary from Dragon Quest XI, alongside 3, 8, and someone else. I forget. These are very specific Dragon Quest protagonists. Along with the Final Smash having the rest of them.
Yeah. Which... I don't know. I was kind of indifferent on that one.
Yeah. As I was saying it to Octavimo in chat, because he was in chat after I was done, I'm not super into this, but I am extremely happy for the Dragon Quest fans that are, because this is the same kind of love you would expect from what we got for our second character reveal and for Joker. Like this feels like the same amount of love and care. So I'm happy for you who are excited. And all I have to say is, as a person who 2/3 of this season pass hit right home for me, I'm good. Yeah, I'm okay with a character reveal not being a big deal for me. Because 2/3 of this is. But yeah, nothing else. The stage is from Dragon Quest XI. Seems to be a magic menu for selecting some magic moves, I believe. And there is a mana bar for using magic moves. So he does have a bit of his own mechanics.
Sound familiar?
Yes. A bit like Cloud, the other Square Enix rep.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk the two?
I'm fine with that, honestly.
Yeah, it helps diversify the roster. Even more than it already is, just in a character sense. But yeah, moving on from there, once more showcasing Dragon Quest XI that we saw last night. Once more showing off that retro-esque areas that apparently are a thing from the 3DS version. That it only came out in Japan. Yeah, also showing off some of the new stuff, because this is a definitive edition with new content that's coming to the Switch. Then we moved in some more Zelda's Link's Awakening showing off, and they showed off a dungeon builder mode.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that, and that's now making me wonder if we might be seeing a Zelda Maker in the future.
I would not be surprised.
Because tell me that didn't look like that was what they were wanting to kind of drift towards.
It feels like we could blow this up into its own thing and do, like, it would still be top down like the original Zelda, but we could do skins to different Zeldas with different enemies and stuff.
Well, I mean, if you think about it too, between what they've got access to, you could do like Zelda 1, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, since that's a more modern now.
Mm-hmm.
And you could probably do like an Oracle kind of setting.
Wouldn't they theoretically have the assets for Oracles? Just as a straight up remake? Like this?
Possibly.
Because I think, like, Link's Awakening and the two Oracle games share a lot of assets. Granted, they were both Game Boy titles.
I'd say they probably did. I don't honestly know on that. But I mean,
it's one of those.
It's one of those. We could completely have a Zelda Maker akin to how Mario Maker was.
Yeah. At that point, it feels like the same.
With that.
Yeah. It feels like the same situation with the RE2 remake, where I'm like, yeah, you did an RE2 remake. Are you going to do an RE3? Because they literally share the same assets. Like a few new assets here and there, and a bit of remixing, and you could literally make RE3 right now. Remake.
I think the issue with the Oracle games, and I might be wrong on this, but I think the issue with them is there might have been some different enemy types. So there would still be new assets to have to make.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, though, if it's enough to really be a case of they would have to make a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing that Dungeon Maker, I'm like, ooh. I see what you're doing. I have a feeling, as bad as I really dislike Link's Awakening's art style, I have a feeling if that dungeon building mode goes somewhere, that might be the next thing we see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this also got shown off at Treehouse. I listened to it a little bit. I wasn't paying too much attention because I was busy doing something else at the moment. I think I was literally dissecting audio of the thing later.
Oh, yeah.
And investigating it because...
I'm not going to lie. I didn't get to watch it live, but I watched the whole thing. And when I got to that point, the thought pattern was, this is DLC. Wait, what?
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, they also, through the Treehouse, showed off that, yeah, some, like, as faithful as this will be, there will be little touches here and there to, like, show that, yeah, this is a remake. Because there's a Yoshi doll you can pick up in the Crane game. And the text is now different.
Ah.
And it also looks like a Yarn Yoshi, I believe.
Huh.
So it will be more like, this is Link's Awakening as you know it, with a few little touches here and there to show, yeah, it's been a while since you were here and played this game.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think didn't they really kind of do the same thing with both Twilight Princess and Wind Waker when they redid them?
I can't speak to that, but probably.
I'm wanting to say there was little changes and stuff like that we heard about from both of them too.
Yep.
Where it was minor. I mean, obviously there was major for both of them, and I'm not touching that because, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But well, yeah, I think I'm wanting to say there was like little minor stuff like that, so that's kind of neat to see they keep that going.
Yep. Then we got the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics, which is based off the Dark Crystal upcoming Netflix thing that I have no idea what is. So all I went was, that looks like a neat tactics game. I have no idea about any of this other stuff. I have no idea who this puppet person is that's talking.
I have no idea. But oh god, the next thing.
Luigi's Mansion 3 had a bit of a deep dive as we got a bit of the gameplay, and it looks really good.
And I've not played any of the Luigi's Mansion games, and I'm like, huh, now I want to. Like now I want to, because it's like, that looks good. Yep. I always thought Luigi's Mansion looked good, but I never felt the want to play it, and then this one, it's like, huh, maybe I should go back.
Yep. This also got shown off on Treehouse. They showed off essentially a segment where you're getting an elevator button to progress from a ghost, and you're doing things for him. And instead of actually fighting the boss, you do a little like gameplay segment with him, and then he just gives you the button. So it's entirely possible that you won't be fighting all the enemies, but gameplay stuff, the Poltergeist has a lot of movement tech and like combat tech that makes it really good. And we also have Guigi as a kind of do a thing that I can't do character, and also as a co-op buddy.
Yeah. Like that's what I thought was kind of neat.
And also we're getting there's also an 8-player like multiplayer mode.
Now I can't remember, did they say that had online with it, or was that local?
Yes, that had online.
Okay.
The co-op, they didn't specify,
local,
but that,
I believe, is what they were saying.
Yeah, the 8-player mode, that is online. Okay. It's local and online.
That's
but yeah, 8 players, then. 4 Luigis, 4 Goo Luigis. Or Gooigis. Then we had a whole bunch of Mana stuff. We have a remake of Trials of Mana that looks pretty good, to be honest. And then the original 3 Mana games are getting put into a collection, and we're up on the eShop at some point today. I didn't check.
Yeah, not really too wanting an RPG at the moment, so I was like, eh.
And a bit of a surprise reveal, The Witcher 3 is coming to Switch.
Which, not gonna lie, as soon as that trailer started running, I was like, oh, hi. It's one of those, I knew exactly what it was as soon as it started, and I'm like, okay. Well, that one's supposed to be a bigger surprise than it is, I can already tell.
Yep. It won't look as good graphically, but if you want to play Witcher on the go, here's Witcher on the go. That is like 480p handheld, by the way. 720p dock. Yes.
Oof.
Yes. I'm like there's
I
no
don't
getting.
even think Doom took that bad of a hit.
Yeah, it's probably because this is a big open world game, so it is taking a massive hit to get that docked performance, or getting that handheld performance.
Almost not even worth it.
That's probably the sentiment from a lot of people. It's like, go play it on PC.
Like, I mean, if it's 480p, that's almost not worth it.
Then we got a little trailer for No More Heroes 3 with not 1, not 2, but 3 different writer references. Because Suda51 is a massive writer fan, apparently. Apparently, in an interview, instead of like talking about Travis Strikes Back, he spent a half hour talking about Geo.
Well, that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Good or bad talking about it?
I don't know.
Okay, because I was going to say, one of those, it's easy to lose yourself for about an hour.
Yep, we've done that. But the references, of course, Travis saying henshin and donning an armor. The second is the design of the armor, and the jetpack of it is very similar to Saiga from Five's Lost Paradise. And third of which is his final line of the trailer, saying that he is a passing assassin. Passing through assassin? I see you fucking taking Tsukasa's line, you jackass. To be fair, their personalities match.
Well, not too much to get mad about then.
No. Panzer Dragoon is getting a remake, and it is coming to Switch. This is actually a remake. Listening to Easy Allies, I got the details from an email that said this is a remake of the original Panzer Dragoon. Which, I guess if you want a Star Fox fix, here you go. Here's a game like it. Except dragons.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was kind of thinking. Like, this is not Star Fox?
Yeah. This came out on Dreamcast, for reference. Next up, we had the weird thing of a bunch of people breaking into an old mansion in order to play Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And all of this to announce the 2 not good Resident Evils are coming to Switch. Thanks.
I kind of lost interest on that one when it was Resident Evil coming to Switch, because I'm like, okay, whatever.
So all we need is 2 remake and the theoretical 3 remake, and we have all the number titles. And I think also the Revelation games are on Switch, so you like have most of the Resident Evil franchise on Switch at the moment. The good news is, right now, you have the best one. It's called 4. Daemon X Machina got a trailer showcasing it some more. I tuned out because I played the demo. I wasn't super into the demo.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't either. Like, I think it's a neat idea, but it's like, eh.
Like, I think it should feel like faster, and the combat should be, I don't know, more energetic than it is.
Yeah.
Like, what they showed doesn't. I'm like, that's not really what I got from the demo. It felt like slower than that. Maybe that's just the demo.
Maybe. Which, if so, that's kind of a bad demo.
Yeah. Contra Rogue Core got shown off, and okay, it's cool that we're getting a Contra game. This game looked bad, didn't it?
I honestly don't remember if I paid attention to it too much.
I was about to say, this game kind of visually looks bad on retrospect. I'm like, oh, cool, a Contra game. Oh, yeah, this game doesn't look that good, visually speaking. Like, really not good. But the good news is, like, you're getting the Contra collection, which Destructoid skipped over.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Actually, that was the other one we got, actually.
Yep, like we got like a Contra collection's on the eShop right now. Like 6 or 8 games of Contra.
I can't remember right offhand.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
I know it was just about all the Contra games.
Yep. Pokemon Sword and Shield got a little bit of time, not much. There's actually new stuff to talk about with Sword and Shield, but it was neither at the Treehouse or talked about when they were talking about Sword and Shield. It was just spotted in the demo, which makes me go, are you just waiting till tomorrow to actually talk about this?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. But we got a new gym leader, a water gym leader, and that's kind of it. The Treehouse segment didn't go into too much more than what we've already seen. Empire Ascend was shown off, and I thought this was a tactics game. It kind of is. Apparently, it's a bit more of like a tactics game, and also like a city simulator in a sense, or in this case, a crime simulator. Where you're like trying to take over businesses and like make your turf and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I like this aesthetic. I wish I got a better sense of what the game is now. Because I'm like, oh, a tactics like mob noir shooter? Sure, I'll take that. But now you're adding in like some sim stuff, I'm like, okay, what is this game actually? Ultimate Alliance 3 got another trailer showcasing it. Some more characters were announced. A expansion pass was announced saying, hey, we're bringing some Marvel Knights characters, some X-Men characters, and some Fantastic Four characters in the future. Which I believe no one they've shown off is in those passes.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Like, they've not said that these people are in the passes, so I assume not. Which is weird, because most of who would be in a Marvel Knights collection is already in the game. Like, the only person I can think of that would be in a Marvel Knights collection at this point is, like, Punisher? That's not in the game? So I'm like, But they also showed off a demo, just doing a level at the X-Mansion. And yes, that is Deadpool making tacos because it's Taco Tuesday while the X-Men run away from Juggernaut. And then the Juggernaut ruins his tacos. And he's like, fuck this asshole, he's dead! And that is how you recruit Deadpool. I'm not kidding.
Oh, I believe it.
This game is fun. I can't wait to play it next month. Actually, hang on. Oh, there actually is something else that is missing from here. There's the Fire Emblem Three Houses trailer. Wow, Destructoid, you hit everything except you dropped the ball on that one.
I mean,
we got a 3.
It really wasn't much more than we already have gotten, though.
Yes and no, actually. From what I understood, like going in, I'm like, oh, it's focusing on the school stuff, except, oh shit, there's a time skip now, and there might be an implication of you playing both past and present to try to change the present that you're in. Like, there's some twist stuff in there that I didn't know about with Three Houses, because it was a story trailer.
Like I said, not much. I didn't say there wasn't any.
Yeah, it's just weird that they dropped it, because they didn't drop anything else all week. Animal Crossing's New Horizon was finally shown off, and it's coming next year. March, actually, because a lot of shit's coming in March. Like, just for reference, I retweeted on the TG Saloon Twitter account someone who went through and cataloged the releases that have been shown off this week at E3 by month. Would you like to take a guess of how many games are coming out in March?
Far too many. I don't know how many.
1, 2, 3, 4, actually, at the moment. That's less. But over the course of quarter one, it's 1, 2, 5, 7, 8 games over the course of quarter one from February to May. 6 different high-profile games are coming out. But yeah, check that out. I retweeted it. It's from @NitoMata, who did the work. If you are lost on release dates, check it out. Yeah, Animal Crossing. I'm not super into Animal Crossing. Are you?
No, not really.
Okay. I know some people are. I know some people were flipping out about this, so I know it's sad to see that
it looked good, but it's an Animal Crossing game, so not really my thing.
Yeah. I know some people are sad to see it delayed, but I simply go, Nintendo has a philosophy of, we will delay a game before we rush it out the door.
Like, I kind of feel bad for people expecting it, I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, I'm like,
Trailer showing off Cadence of Hyrule that literally comes out in like 2 days.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're excited about Zelda, there's a Zelda game coming out in 2 days. Spyro Reignited Trilo was confirmed coming to Switch in September. In a little highlight reel of stuff. Along with Doom Eternal at some point in the future when we figure out how the fuck to do it. We have a Mario and Sonic Olympics game coming for Tokyo Olympics.
First one in a while.
Yeah. And it has a retro thing going on that I have no idea what is and nobody does. And I don't think anyone's gotten details about it. So, yay! I mean, it looked fun. The judo, like, martial arts thing looked cool. Alien Isolation is also coming to Switch. And so is Dauntless, the not Monster Hunter game that's free to play. And probably the only reason for you to care about it is that it's free to play, because I don't think it has anything else over Monster Hunter. And then we got the final 2 reveals, and oh my god, I lost my goddamn mind at this.
At one, yes. The other one we all kind of expected.
Oh, I lost my mind at Banjo because I did not expect this to be like, oh, we got the Luminary. Wait, what? I was not expecting the 50-50 to turn into 100.
I was more confused as to what they were going to be doing. And then as soon as okay, this is how much I already figured out what it was. And I loved it even more. As soon as we cut to the treehouse for DK, as soon as we cut to that, I was like, I know what this is. At that moment, I was like, I know what this is.
I wasn't super sure until I saw the Jiggy. Because I'm like, okay. Because like at that point, I'm like, this could be Dixie. This could be another Donkey Kong character. No, it's Banjo because rare.
Yeah. And
I'm not gonna...
I loved the whole troll with Duck Hunt. That was awesome.
And I also loved that, like, when Banjo-Kazooie show up and knock the shit out of them, the three of them flip out. Because it's been years since they seen them. Because of course they flip out.
But yeah, as soon as it started into that part of it, I was like, I know exactly what this is.
So yeah, Banjo-Kazooie are in Smash. They look gorgeous and wonderful, and I love it. Spiral Mountain is our stage. The remix that you hear in the trailer is done by Greg Weisterman, the original composer for Banjo-Kazooie. He literally went on Twitter and went, yeah, I composed the song. Yeah, it looks so good. My only reactions were just, yuh-huh, yuh-huh, yuh-huh. Because I'm like, yes. It's the same kind of like just mental meltdown that like Joker did to me. Because like when the Joker reveal happened at the Game Awards, I was just fully expecting it, like, oh, that's another Persona spin-off game. Oh, it's probably the updated version of Persona 5. Fuck no, it's Joker and Smash. And I lost my goddamn mind when the invitation got shown. Literally lost my goddamn mind. But yeah, unfortunately, we have to wait till fall, which, okay, depending on, like, after Banjo-Kazooie, we have 2 left, right?
Yeah.
So our time frame says that everything will be out by February of next year, right?
Yep, I think.
Assuming there's no delays. Which there might be at this point, because they might have wanted to get a character out sooner.
Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the Dragon Quest stuff's probably gonna come next month. They didn't say, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's probably that. Early August at the latest.
I was about to say, when is 11 supposed to come? Oh wow, we get Builders 2 before we get 11. Because Builders 2 is next month. 11 is, I lost it. September? September.
Okay, then in light of that, I'm willing to lean more towards beginning of August. Because I don't feel like they're going to want to wait till mid to late August, because that's going to be too cramped.
Yeah.
I'd say probably beginning August, so I'm willing to bet Banjo-Kazooie we might see around Halloween.
Mm-hmm. And wow, they even dropped Astral Train, which the Astral Train demo at Treehouse looked really good. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it kind of hooked me on it.
Like, yeah, it's a platinum fighter. The combat's really good, but the investigation stuff, like, you've hit a button for me, and I'm in. And I love that while you can pick male or female, the other one still exists in the game, just as your brother and or sister.
Yeah, that is very good.
I just kind of hope that, like, even if you get to choose one or the other, you can customize both. Yeah, Astral Chain looks good. That might be my first dip into like modern Platinum, because I dipped my toe into old Platinum when they were Clover, because I have Okami and I've played Okami. And I like Okami, so I'll probably end up liking this too.
But yeah, well, you know, kind of going back to that whole all the Smash characters, you were saying by February?
Yes.
It's liable then that February actually would be the last one.
Yeah, as long as we don't hit any bumps along the way.
I mean, if, say, we got Banjo-Kazooie towards the end of October, they could throw one out right before Christmas and then have one left.
Yep. Which, at this point, throw the old rumor out the door, because that's not real.
What was the old rumor?
It confirmed the Dragon Quest character. Well, partially confirmed it, because it said it would be like the 3-1 plus an alternate skin for the Luminary, which is only half right. But it confirmed what? Like Steve, the Doomslayer, and Heihachi from Tekken. So throw that all out the door. Which, oh fuck, 2 character slots left.
Doomslayer could still possibly.
Yeah, that could still be a possibility. But again, I'm just like, okay, if Banjo's in here, that means it's not just like third-party stuff anymore. So, like, is Geno back on the table now?
Ooh.
Oh god, what if Geno's the last one?
That's, you know, that's always been a thought in everyone's head since Cloud.
Yeah.
Did we get a Geno Mii fighter costume though? Because I know we did in Smash 4. And that's what kind of killed everyone's hopes for that. I can't remember if we did in Ultimate or not.
No, we did not. I don't see it.
Oh boy.
Because it was a Gunner costume.
Oh boy.
And you know what's worse?
What?
The theory about the Mii costumes. Because several Mii costumes got turned into actual fighters.
Yeah, but they have had a tendency of dodging that.
Yeah. But it's just a weird coincidence that, like, we had an Isabelle costume, we had a King K. Rool costume, we had a Chrom costume. All of a sudden, they're all fighters. It's like a, oh.
Yeah, but that's kind of going between games.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we should really count that necessarily. Like, that should be thrown in there, because they could always still throw out a Geno Mii fighter costume.
Yeah. I feel like that...
I feel that's leaning that direction, though, to possibly being the last one.
Yeah. I feel like the Mii costumes kind of lining up with some of the reveals is evidence that they took the Mii fighter costume data they had in terms of who bought certain Mii costumes and went, oh, people really want these characters. Maybe we should focus on these characters then.
Yeah. Which, if that's the case, then more than likely that'll confirm Geno.
Yeah.
The question is, who is that other one?
Fuck, I don't know. Like, my theory of all of the third parties involved with Smash getting 2 reps has now been, like, put to bed.
Yeah, because at this point it would have to be Steve to pull anything remotely close to that.
Yeah.
Because we'd have to have another Microsoft.
Oh, fuck, it would be. Like, yeah, and Minecraft has a lot of reputation, unless... Oh god, they wouldn't go that far, would they?
What?
Chief.
Nah.
I'm just like, it's either Steve or Chief at this point.
Our art style would have to be redone. That's why everyone's saying that. I'm like, while it would be nice, there would be way too much work to have to go into that.
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie, I have to think that Rare still probably had some of the old assets and could just monkey with it to make it look better. Especially seeing as how they released Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie on the 360.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have to think they've still got them assets and could just pretty them up, so to say. Whereas with something like Chief, that would be they would have to work that from the ground up.
God. Well, the final reveal to shock the world. We're getting a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. Like, direct, like, this is literally not Lincoln Samus. Fuck. No, Lincoln Zelda. Coming straight out of their adventure from Breath of the Wild going, oh, here we go again, because, like, I told you pre-stream, I have a theory about what's going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so, going from the end of Breath of the Wild, like, the Calamity is gone, assumingly. We see evidence that that's not quite the case anymore.
Yeah.
Pieces return to Hyrule, we're rebuilding, we're making everything better, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, what if Zelda started wondering, how the fuck did Ganon get a hold of the Guardians of the Divine Beast 500 years ago? Because, you know, she's interested in the Guardians, she's interested in the Divine Beast. What if she starts going, well, how did he pull it off? And she starts researching
one of those that more she kind of opens the door.
Yeah, it's more of she starts digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and starts finding out the story we were told at the beginning of the Breath of the Wild isn't the whole story. That this whole cycle is because Ganon is just sealed, and everything that they did only kept the seal intact. Because the hand on Ganondorf's chest in this trailer, that's just a seal. And it's been weakening for however long he's been sealed down here in the basement of Hyrule Castle. And it weakening over time, eventually Ganondorf started to be able to influence things again, like the Guardians and the Divine Beast.
Through the use of a magic similar to what we know Ganondorf always has.
Yep. So, if Zelda stumbles upon this, she then realizes, oh fuck, we're not done. So her and Link go on an expedition into the bowels of Hyrule itself to find where Ganon is sealed. And essentially end this once and for all, except shit happens. Because I don't know if you caught this detail in the trailer, but when the Ganondorf's hand is in like the forefront of the screen, it actually twitches. And like I said, when I told you, like, I reversed the audio in this and slowed it down, you know the heartbeats that are at the end of the trailer?
Yeah.
No, they're throughout the trailer.
Huh.
When you reverse the audio, you can distinctly hear those heartbeats. They're throughout the entire fucking trailer. This bastard's been alive the entire time. It's just, they speed up over the course of the trailer. They're quiet at the start, but then they get faster and faster and faster over the course of the trailer. And the second detail is just the high-pitched sounds we hear, that it lines up with the Game Over theme from the original Zelda, which this trailer sets a fucking tone. Like hot damn. This is a dark and spooky story that feels like we're fucking with shit we shouldn't be fucking with. But we got to, because we may not be able to get a second chance at this. Because we barely got by last time. We may not win again. But yeah, shit happens. Link might lose an arm in the process, and the arm that is sealing Ganon grafts onto him. Or they fuse. I'm not sure on that one. It's hard to tell in the trailer. That happens. Ganondorf starts to wake up. Link and Zelda might get separated. They might be stuck together. We don't know. Some people have suggested maybe we're doing co-op. Maybe we're reversing the roles.
I mean, a role reversal would actually work with Breath of the Wild Zelda. Because she strikes me as the type to not need to hide behind someone.
Yeah. She just doesn't have the formal training like Link does.
And, maybe doing something like that would help be a way to break away from maybe people relying from the start with all of Link's ensemble from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, because, he has the Master Sword in this trailer. Very clearly has the Master Sword in this trailer. We're not getting around that one.
But you think he's got that? He's got all the champion powers.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not just going to magically go away.
Yeah, I'm sure the Divine Beast might... I wouldn't say they're probably in the location to be popping shots, but they can probably move to go start popping shots at shit if need be. But yeah, shit goes down, Hyrule Castle starts to take off, and how this game is going to shake out is going to shake out from there, because I think this is all the beginning of the game.
I think it either is the beginning or it's midway through. Because otherwise, if it's the beginning, I feel like... which granted, this kind of delves into what I was saying about timeline idea.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the beginning of the game, then I think we're going to firmly see where Breath of the Wild and Breath of the Wild 2 fits into the timeline then. Because the only potential way for them to have an open world with Hyrule Castle and that little island it's on being the scene would be as if it docked with Skyloft.
Mm-hmm.
Which would then put it in that post Skyward Sword spot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of those. I feel like if that was the beginning, that's the only logical way they could go, because of the fact of they're not going to want to kill the world down to just Hyrule Castle for the second game.
No. Which comes to the suggestion of you'll be playing across two characters. You'll be playing Link, who's might be stuck on Hyrule Castle with the arm and like maybe trying to make it back to Ganon, because he ends up in like some other part. Because again, like we see Hyrule Castle lift up by some means, which makes me believe that there is a structure that Hyrule Castle is built upon, and that's where those pylons come from Breath of the Wild 1, that helps seal the calamity, which means there's a lot more Sheikah shit that even Zelda didn't get told about. And maybe even the king doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
I feel like the king knows, but at this point, he's kind of just walked away.
Yeah, he's spirited off, and like maybe the original champions spirited off as well. Maybe they're gone. Maybe the Divine Beasts have been taken over by their replacements. Because we set up every Divine Beast to have a replacement champion, right?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of loose, yes, but I don't think it's a firm enough to say definite.
Yeah. I feel like with some story work, we can work those characters into those positions, but...
depending on how close this is.
Yeah.
Like, if this is immediately after, then no, we don't have replacements.
Yeah. That's why I think there will be some time, because Zelda will be off researching, off digging, like, starts like a little world tour around Hyrule, like, starts looking for information. Because
but
also,
even
like...
with that, we've got to have a decent time span, because I can't foresee it just being you walk up and it magically decides it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to have a decent amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they want to have that any kind of a time skip, because it doesn't look like they really did.
Yeah.
Hyrule Castle and the field right there around it in that last shot looked about like how it did at the end.
Yeah. But didn't touch on this, but like Link and Zelda have like kind of new outfits in this trailer. Like Zelda's cut her hair short. She has a new cloak and hood that wasn't in the original game, but I think the rest of her outfit's pretty much the same.
I think I'd have to pull it back up.
Yeah. Whereas I think Link is almost the same outside of, he went and got more armor because he would not like to not die again. He went and got some armor just to be like, nope, I'm not dying again. Fuck no. Last time I died, I was asleep for 500 years. I don't think I get a second chance after that. Granted, he might be losing an arm in this game, so there's that. But yeah, but I feel like this, if it's the like, if this is like the beginning of the game, I feel like you work your way, like research wise, or like you play a bit like of the journey, like leading up to the expedition, and then the expedition like going in the depths is kind of your like your tutorial stuff, and like your first real dungeon is like trying to excavate or like get down there, which will probably lead more into your like early to mid. Yeah, we have no release date, but I've heard people say that we're probably going to get this like 2 years from now, like 2021. But I'm not so sure. I'm feeling holiday 2020. Assuming no delays or anything, I feel like Nintendo wouldn't be putting this out, especially after what they had to do with Metroid Prime 4, if this was not coming soon.
Well, to be fair, this is farther than Metroid Prime 4 was when they teased it.
Yes.
When they teased it, they even said they didn't have anything to show but the title. This, we've actually got a cutscene. This, we've got the engine more than likely already set, and probably most, if not all, of the assets are there.
Yeah.
Because
I think the only assets
I have to think the only new asset is probably the Ganondorf.
Yeah. I feel like the new assets would be what's unique to this game.
But I still can't think there'd be too much. Because we had assets covering just about every other Zelda game in existence in Breath of the Wild. Whether some of them were Easter eggs or not. So unless they're coming up with a ton of new stuff, I can't foresee them needing a lot either.
Yeah.
I think at the latest, I honestly think at the latest March of 2021. I'm really kind of leaning towards probably summer of next year, though. Like if they're far enough to give us this much of what's presumably at least the first half, that means they're pretty comfortable with where they're at.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like Nintendo would not be showing this for this game if we weren't going to get it soon, which is why I say holiday next year, because that'll be the marquee title next year. Is Breath of the Wild 2 or Legend of Zelda, whatever name is appropriate for this probably dark adventure into quote unquote ending the curse of Ganondorf.
Yeah. I'm wanting to look at something. Ooh.
What?
You know what? I'm going to retract my previous statement. I'm going to say they have a loose release date already for it.
Ooh.
And they haven't said anything.
But what is the loose release date?
I'm wondering if they're going to try to aim for March of next year.
Really?
That would be the 3-year anniversary of the Switch and of Breath of the Wild.
Ooh.
Meaning they would have had all of that time to have been working on it.
Very true. 3-year development cycle, that. Yeah? I didn't even think about that.
I'm willing to bet it's not firm enough for them to say it'll be March of next year, but I feel like that's the loose in-office kind of idea. But yeah, I just happened to think about that. I'm like, wait a minute. I bet I see what they're going to try to do. I hope it works if that's what their goal is. But I also hope it doesn't turn into a Metroid Prime 4 where they have to delay it unexpectedly, too.
Yeah. Although,
like I said, it doesn't look like it, though. They've got way more for Breath of the Wild 2 than they did for Metroid Prime 4, period.
Yeah. Although, an interesting comment I read about this game is, I believe the main director behind it commented that he liked the DLC and you can expect DLC more, which made me go, would you put in a DLC, like a free update into Breath of the Wild that would lead into this game?
I don't know, because when did Champions Ballad come out?
That I gotta look up. December 7th of 2 years ago? What?
Yeah. I thought it was within the first year.
Wow.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
If it's been this far, they would have at least had the storyboard set up.
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, they didn't have a ton for Champions Ballad to have to add in. Like, the bulk of what they had to add in for that was cutscenes.
Mm-hmm. Because all the fights were refights.
Yeah, and I'm willing to bet that pretty much the cutscenes were probably done long before release. Mm-hmm. Meaning we still had probably the better part of 3 years development for Breath of the Wild 2, assuming the same team did the DLC.
Yeah.
You and me both know that does not always happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was probably just a smaller team that was doing the DLC.
And maybe working on some assets for the next game.
Yeah. I just... Like, it feels weird because I'm like, Zelda was not really... like, it was a real big hole for me in terms of Nintendo stuff for the longest of times. But Hyrule Warriors and Breath of the Wild has made me really interested in Zelda. So... I'm really excited for a Zelda release now. Especially if this is a Breath of the Wild that goes, yeah, we're gonna tell a more coherent story this time that's not as freeform.
I kind of feel like as good as Breath of the Wild is, I feel like that is one thing I gotta kind of knock. It doesn't force you to go through the story.
Yeah, the story is optional and I don't like that.
Like, personally, the optimal way of playing it, you do the 4 Divine Beasts, you get the Master Sword, and then you go to Ganon.
Yeah.
The fact that you can go straight to Ganon, it's like, while that's good, while that works in a speedrun sense, that's horrible for a story sense.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like what they should have done, and this probably would have worked. They should have forced the Divine Beast to be necessary. Not necessarily force you into which way you've got to go to them, but at least make the 4 being complete be necessary.
Mm-hmm. That
way, then they can still tell their story and kind of make it a little more freeform.
Yeah. The only thing you miss out then are the memories, which is all of Zelda's character stuff.
Yeah.
Practically. Because all of the other memories that aren't the champions is all her stuff. So you lose her character.
Which while that's bad, it's not the worst thing.
Yeah.
I mean, really? I'm not saying it's good, but it's not the worst either.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Zelda.
Hopefully they'll fix that part of it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope it improves on like everything Breath of the Wild did. But yeah, the Nintendo was the best one because it got me the most excited for, I would say, the most stuff.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I feel like the last two announcements that they had was probably enough to overthrow any of the others.
Yeah. And I also feel like they showed off the most gameplay within their conference, which I will always get points for.
I feel like they gave not only that, but truthfully, even probably the most storytelling for their games.
Yeah.
Because most of the other conferences, it's been, oh, look at our game, look at this cutscene that really doesn't have much to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even with the, and this is weird, even with the Breath of the Wild announcement, it felt like it gave enough to where you could loosely understand what's going on.
Yeah, like just to do a quick comparison between that and the Halo one, this sets the tone of the game. Like, I feel like this is, like, when I look at this, I feel like I'm getting a sense of what that tone of that game is. I can tell you one thing about that Halo teaser, outside of, well, Chief exists. He's here to fight something. But I'm not.
Yeah. It's one of those, the Halo one, that I know what happened with that one. That has to be like the first cutscene of the game.
Probably.
And that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this Breath of the Wild one, it feels like it's more than one cutscene. In my opinion, it feels like it's more than one cutscene.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I feel like this is parts of at least the first half of the game. It's definitely nothing like game. It might not even be the first half. It might only be the first, like, 20-30 minutes. But it's not one coherent cutscene, and that's very blatantly obvious.
Yeah. But the fact of, like, it's showing these quick shots of, like, this expedition into finding where Ganon is sealed, and the music being backwards, and literally having the game over music of the original Zelda sets this tone of, like, oh, fuck.
You done goofed.
And even like even just the cinematography of, like, how Ganondorf is shot, it feels like we woke up a fucking, like, horror movie monster. Like, this doesn't feel like the Ganondorf we know.
I mean, to be fair, this is a Ganondorf that has been imprisoned for presumably 100 years or more.
I was about to say, isn't the time period from when Link went in the Chamber of Resurrection to the present 500 years?
No, 100.
Oh, is it 100? Okay, my bad.
Yes.
I thought it was 500. Oops.
So, he's been locked up at least 100 years. I say at least because I feel like he didn't just figure out how to do all of this overnight, so he was probably down there for quite a few years before.
I feel like it's been extremely long. Like, I think it's been as long as the legend has existed within the context of Breath of the Wild. And how long they've been doing this cycle with the hero and the princess and all that. It's been that long. Because his body is withered just like the Sheikah in the shrines.
But okay, to that though, we don't really know how long they've been there either.
Very true. But like the context, like of the hero and the princess and that legend in Breath of the Wild, it seems like this is an old legend. We've been doing this for hundreds of years. And I think he's been sealed for hundreds of years. Which means he's fucking crazy now. He is just a rabid monster, most likely.
But you know, what's still kind of getting me isn't so much Ganondorf's appearance and presumably his mental state, but it's the fact of, you know, we've kind of treated the Master Sword the same but different this time around.
Yeah.
Because the Deku Tree even says about, I'm wanting to say he even has a line that says something about it's the sword that seals evil. I'm wanting to say he's got some kind of a line similar to that.
Yeah.
So if you treat it as that, then we've got one of two things that could be going on here. We could either be taking a Wind Waker approach to it, and the Master Sword's effectively useless, hence the Master Sword trials. Mm-hmm. Like, it might be taking those into canon and assuming that you finished that, therefore restoring the full power to it.
Yeah.
Or Ganondorf was still technically sealed until Link decided to pull the sword, thus making this next game partially Link's fault.
That's possible. Well, one last detail I noticed. The hand that's grasping Ganondorf's chest. You get the feeling that it's Twilight related?
Let me pull that video back up.
I was about to say, whatever shot gives you the best look at that arm. I feel like the pattern on it and stuff, I'm like, that looks very Twilight-esque. Probably doesn't... It might not help that we've been playing Twilight Princess recently, so that's on the mind. But I'm like, this looks very Twilight-esque. Is that in play? Because the Twilight Realm has been mentioned in this game. That's a thing. However that shakes out. Because I don't know.
I'm kind of going through it right now to try to get the best view on it too.
I believe it's in the quick shots. Is when you get the best view of the arm.
Wait a minute. it could be a take using the Breath of the Wild engine on it, but
yeah.
I feel like I've seen that kind of design used on something else, but I can't think of what.
Yeah.
I can't think of what, but that might be their take on it, though.
Yeah. I can't wait for us to have more information on this because I'm super curious now. I hope we get a really good story out of this because I want a really good Legend of Zelda story.
Ooh.
What?
What if it is?
What if it is Twilight related?
And maybe even a step further. And
like
I'll leave it there. Like possibly Midna.
What, like Midna sealed canon originally?
I mean, it could be possible. Or one of her ancestors kind of deal, depending on how timeline related this goes.
Yeah.
Because the way the hand reaches out and grabs Link, it looks like it's more saving him from a fall. Like the fall that we see slightly farther where the ground splits.
Yeah, because we also see, I presume it's Link saving Zelda from the fall similar to it. Like those happen back to back in the trailer. Because we also have like the blink and you miss it scene, which is like the shadow of what I assume is the original ceiling of Ganondorf, like blasted onto the wall. Which makes me go, did somebody in Hyrule make a deal with the Twilight Realm to like seal Ganon originally? Because we also have the inscription on the wall that's just like the stuff we've seen before involving the legend, except it's Ganondorf on horseback with, I believe, a trident. Which I'm like, that's new. That's not existed before. Or like, it makes me think that's like, Zelda wasn't told things. And I don't think she's going to like that. And considering her characterization, she's going to start digging. And this is not going to end well.
The hand is saving them.
Yeah.
No, I looked through the video and a little bit slower there.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda's the first to fall.
Yep.
So that whole set of scenes is completely out of whack there because apparently when the ground collapses, Zelda's the first to fall, Link reaches out to grab her, but is falling too, and then that's when the hand grabs him.
Yeah.
So that whole set of scenes is just out of order there. Meaning that hand is helping, not hurting.
Yeah. Like I don't think the hand is like evil or anything, which is why I say it's Twilight related, because Twilight is neutral.
I'm wondering. Oof. I'm wondering now if that cutscene where we see the light coming out of Link's arm there, if that ain't after the arm saves him.
That's possible.
And it be a case of, well, crap, now I've let Ganondorf go, so now I'm going to lend you my power to seal him again.
Yeah.
Meaning that maybe the Master Sword isn't going to be the reason Ganondorf gets sealed now?
Or maybe it's the two in concert.
Maybe.
Because there's a reason I say, like, in the Curse of Ganon. Because I feel like that's what Zelda's going to set out to try to do. Is like, we're ending this. We're going to, like, no one will have to be in our position again. Because like Zelda's arc was her dealing with the fact like she wasn't living up to her role. She wasn't the Zelda she's supposed to be and stuff. And when she finally did it, it was when when everything went to hell and she was the literal only person who could do anything. And even then, she could only keep shit at bay until Link could wake the fuck up and actually help. And not be dead. So I feel like if we're going into a Breath of the Wild 2, if we're going to continue that arc, we're into a Zelda that's fulfilled her role, but has that experience, and maybe now going, like, this cycle's got to repeat again. Like, they know that because it's been repeating. Maybe Zelda's like, I want to break the cycle. I want this to end. I don't want my descendants to do this again. I don't want your descendants to do this again. I don't want this again.
I could see that.
Like, that is such good material to work with, because it fits perfectly where Zelda would be at the end of Breath of the Wild 1. Going into it 2, it's really good character stuff right there. And it would be really appropriate because they haven't done that with Zelda ever. I feel like.
I think you're right on that.
But anyway, Nintendo Direct, really good. We've spent about an hour and a half talking just about it.
Uh-huh.
I think that goes to show you, yeah, the Nintendo Direct really won us over. A bit of Nintendo bias, probably, but you know what? They had the most interesting stuff to talk about.
Again.
So, we got a little bit of updates here and there. Surprisingly enough, mostly Nintendo stuff, not really anything else interesting. Except for this Konami article about them putting out a TurboGrafx 16 mini that I'm seeing on the side. That when they announced it, one person in the audience clapped for it. One person. Which shows you how much people want a TurboGrafx 16. I can't tell you what the fuck even came out on a TurboGrafx 16.
Games.
Well, I mean noteworthy games.
Yes. I'm kind of right there with you.
Yeah, but we got some Amiibo announcements. I believe coming in September.
Yep, September 20th.
Yeah, September 20th. Well, I was making because September 20th should be our Link Awakening link.
Yeah.
But half of our Smash Fighters are September 20th, and I didn't remember who, and I don't think the article specifies. Oh wait, no, it's ones that are already coming out. I believe it's Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Snake or September.
Yeah.
Yes, they have. Okay, that's why I was confused. Because I was like, I thought it was them, but no, it's not. But in November, Chrom, Simon, Chrom, Incineroar, and Simon will be dropping, and then 2020 or early 2020, Dark Samus and Rikta, which leaves us. Who does that leave us at this point?
I honestly don't know. Like outside the DLC.
Yeah.
That might be almost everyone right there, though. Like, there might only be one more.
Alice hasn't been updated with the new one. Oh, no, not quite. Yeah, I think that does catch us up. I think. Yeah, it should catch us up to DLC fighters. Yeah, that does.
Which, that makes sense, because then probably mid to late 2020 we'll probably see the 5 DLC fighters.
Yep.
They might do like well, Piranha Plant would be counted into that, wouldn't it?
Yes, but Piranha Plant's already out. Like, I have Piranha Plant right now.
So then we would only have 5. Because I was going to say, if not, then that would be a perfect 3-3 split. But they might do 3 and then 2, depending on who the last 2 fighters are.
Yep.
And I'm fully willing to bet if Gino is one of the last 2 fighters, then the last 2 amiibos that'll be coming out will be Banjo-Kazooie and Gino.
Oh, God. Can we do a Mallow so that we literally have a playable in Super Mario RPG? I don't know what a Mallow amiibo would be useful for, but fuck it, do it.
But anyhow.
Yeah, I was updating my list for amiibo stuff. Just to kind of keep track of it myself.
You know what's funny?
What?
As far as amiibos go, the Link's Awakening art style kind of works for it. I don't know why I don't like it for the game.
It's too toyetic? Because it looks very toyetic.
Yeah, but I'm fine with the amiibo. I'm actually kind of liking that one. But for some weird reason, I just don't like it in the game.
Yep. Well, in Pokemon news, 2 new Pokemon were spotted in the demo on the showroom floor. We have Yamper, which is Electric Corgi. He is fucking adorable. And he has a very unique ability. And the fact of, he returns your first failed Pokeball to you.
Ah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you failed the Pokemon catch. Here's the ball back for free. I believe the text specifies the first one, so we can't return all of them. But this thing is fucking adorable. I love it. And the second one, which you'll have to click the image because the image is big enough to not fit.
I see that.
A dark fairy type called Impidimp. He looks dopey and I love it.
I like it.
I do not doubt that this thing will fucking evolve into some really cool looking, like, devil Pokemon.
Yeah, and I like it.
And people
I'm all for that.
And people are speculating that Yampa will actually evolve into an electric fairy type if it does evolve.
I could see that, but I could also probably see it being just a true electric.
Yeah. Yeah, bear in mind, none of this was mentioned on Treehouse, not during the Pokemon Sword and Shield segment either. This came out after the segment was already done, because it followed the Nintendo Direct directly, or followed the Nintendo Direct right afterwards. Like, this came out like a couple hours later when people were on the showroom floor and at the demos and went, hey, there's 2 new Pokemon here. So I don't know if they're waiting until tomorrow to talk about it. But we do have some sad news related to Pokemon that took them forever to get to.
More dumb than sad, in my opinion, but yeah.
Yeah. More or less, due to development time and wanting to get the game out for the holiday, when it comes to the Pokemon Home system and being able to transfer your Pokemon into that and into Sword and Shield, the only Pokemon that will be able to go into Sword and Shield from any source involving those 3 is what is present in the Galar Pokedex. Meaning, there is no national dex in Pokemon Sword and Shield. For now, hopefully. I don't think this will be the case forever.
I hope it's not. But I also wish they would say, you know, it's not going to be at launch. Kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because then that would say, okay, well, they're going to make plans for it.
Like, they're making a slime controller for the Switch.
Do what? Where did you see that?
I just saw it on Twitter. That doesn't look particularly comfortable, to be honest.
I don't even anymore.
Neither do I.
And I
yeah,
love how one of those images is the PS4 one.
Yep. Apparently this was originally a PS2 one, then a PS4, and now it's a Switch one.
I mean, it could look dumber.
Yes.
And I don't know, it might not feel horrible. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope that support for Sword and Shield will last long enough to go, here's everything in the Sword and Shield. Because I feel like if they are able to get everything in the Sword and Shield, that means going forward, we will get a national dex, no matter what.
The only downside is, are they going to focus on the 2-year development cycle concept?
I would hope so, because it's worked out for them.
Well,
like,
the reason I say that is because if so, we will never see that.
Yeah.
If not, then they could take like the course of the next 2 years to kind of work on rolling out the past gens. That would put the next gen farther out, but might be worth it in the long run.
Yeah.
Like, especially if Nintendo is not planning on doing another split between the home and portables.
Yeah.
Like, if they pretty much figure the Switch in of itself is kind of going to be the thought going forward, then yeah, I would hope they would go that route.
Yeah, because when Bill Trennan was asked about 3DS, it's like, we don't really have anything to talk about. We're only focusing on the Switch at E3. And when asked about hardware stuff, it's again, we're focusing on the Switch. We don't have anything to talk about at the moment. So I think it's one of those cases of, like, the Switch is our thing right now.
Well, that also tells me that the Switch Mini probably got delayed.
Probably.
Because I think it was expected to be talked about during E3 if it was coming out this year. And Nintendo didn't deny it. They denied the Switch Pro coming out this year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
which might be just enough.
I mean, if the Switch is the definitive, that this is the concept they're going to have going forward, and whatever Switch 2.0 turns out to be is still utilizing the same concept, then I hope that Sword and Shield winds up having a bigger gap between it and the next gen, just to kind of get all of them up to par.
Yeah.
Otherwise, well, like I said, we're probably never going to see all the Pokemon in a Pokemon game again.
Which will be extremely sad, to be honest. Well, we do have brighter news. You know how they did the dumb thing of not letting you play with your friends in Mario Maker 2?
Yeah.
Well, a post-launch update will fix that and make it to where you can play with friends.
The question is how far out?
Depends on what they have to do to make it work.
Like my thing is, it's clearly not going to be a day one. I already know that. But are we talking like end of first year, end of like August? I mean, some kind of rough idea would be a good thing.
Yeah, especially with it releasing so close.
Because honestly, I'm still kind of a little bit on the lacking hype side for Mario Maker 2 because of this. Like, the rest of the stuff's neat and all, but honestly, the multiplayer part would be kind of cool to play around with.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I kind of get back to the whole, you know, if Splatoon 2 can do it, you can't tell me they can't do it.
Yeah. Well, you remember how we were talking about last night with Square Enix saying that the Midgard, or saying that Final Fantasy VII Remake will be across 2 discs?
Yeah.
That's just the first game, apparently. Or they don't know how long it will take, or how many parts it will be. And if you think I'm over exaggerating, third paragraph, final quote. Literally from the producer's mouth. We don't know.
I find so much joy in that.
Yep.
That's one of those that I want to go, and you all thought Square had a good press conference.
Also, I like that Destructoid is willing to point out that where is it in this article? That the Midgard portion of the game was originally 4 to 5 hours. And now it's apparently a full-fledged Final Fantasy game in its own right, presumably at the 60-hour mark. You ever had to just look at this and go, I'm gonna feel really bad if this turns. I'm gonna feel really bad for people when this turns out to be not good.
Yeah, I'm glad you changed that, because it's not going to be an if, it's a when. Because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, speaking
also,
of mixed.
Also, I have to say this. I have to super say this. Thank you, the background music, for deciding to pull a Final Fantasy VII song up right now.
Hell yeah.
That was perfect timing.
Well,
I heard it, I was like, this sounds like a Final Fantasy song. I looked down, yep, I would be right.
Well, and slightly more disappointing news, Game Informer sat down and went through a 25-minute demo for the Avengers game. Their takeaways are, it's still rough. Hulk seems the most fleshed out of the characters. They only went through the opening stage, and apparently there's a mixed bag of single player only and multiplayer stages or levels in the game.
Ugh.
And they wouldn't really comment on several questions that they asked about, which makes me go, I don't have confidence in this game anymore. I'm going to go play my proper Avengers game, that is Ultimate Alliance.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, but doesn't it kind of, now that we're hearing more of this, doesn't it kind of feel like we needed just an Avengers movie that kind of followed along the lines of the MCU instead?
You mean an Avengers game?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Well, we were going to have one for the first Avengers game, but then it got canceled. And guess what the fun part of that one was?
What?
It was a first-person game. Where you still played as Hulk, Thor, and Captain America, and Iron Man.
I think the only thing that could make that worse would be if it was on, like, the Wii or something like that.
I don't remember if there was a Wii version.
Like, I'm not lying there. The only thing that could make something like that worse would be throw motion controls into the mix.
It was going to be on the Wii U.
It just barely slid out.
Yep. It was to coincide with the release of the original movie. And it was being developed by THQ Studios Australia and Blue Tongue Entertainment. I believe Did You Know Gaming has a video detailing it, or giving details about it and showing gameplay. Actually, I just found a video that just shows gameplay of it. Still doesn't look particular. It looks alright. But, not gonna lie, I would kind of take this more than online service. Or yeah, fucking live service Avengers game.
True, if I had to give the choice between the two, yeah, probably. Is it bad that part of me kind of hopes it'll bomb?
Well, historically speaking, live service games have really not done well in year one.
Like, I just hope this one tanks from the start and never finds a good groundwork for it, because then maybe they'll realize that was the wrong decision.
Yeah. Also, I can't wait for that Ant-Man teaser to be that he has a gun that shrinks things instead of has a suit. And he's just in casual wear. Because I'll be honest, I don't particularly care for the Captain America in this design because it looks, I don't know, like too regular, too cheap.
To be fair, I kind of felt like they might have skimped out on maybe all of the character designs. Like, I feel like they could have probably done better.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at what was done for Spider-Man. And I mean,
yeah.
I know that's different studios and everything, and I don't want to start that whole, well, I shouldn't compare to that, but it's one of those, when seeing what what the tech we've got can do, and then we get that, it's like, Square's not up to par right now.
Yeah. Because, like, Thor feels like a weird mix of an Ultimate design for him and a 616 design, which the MCU did better. And Iron Man looks like any Iron Man suit, doesn't really look anything special.
Yeah.
And Black Widow looks like Black Widow. And Hulk looks like Hulk, but I don't know what you do with those to make them distinctive. Especially Hulk, because I'm like, the only thing you can change is how those pants look.
Well, I mean,
otherwise, you
wouldn't have to go to that point. I'm even more meaning, like, truthfully, even like in a graphical kind of sense. It's like they kind of skimped on that. Like, I wasn't really impressed with that.
Yeah, I think looking back on it now, it doesn't look that impressive. I do kind of agree with Game Informer that it does look rough.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it'll look better closer to release, but I don't know.
Yeah.
If what we're seeing is what we're getting, then I don't think it's going to go over too great.
Yeah.
Which really kind of sucks, because there is, outside of Ultimate Alliance, there's not really any good superhero games, because like that and Spider-Man's the only two that's actually probably gonna even age well.
Yeah. I mean, the Arkham series was good, but
even with it, though, people had problems with certain parts.
Yeah, especially Arkham Knight. Well, that's all we got. I assume we will have some more showroom floor stuff to talk about tomorrow, especially if anything big comes out of the Treehouse event. But got anything else?
No.
Okay, then maybe I will get through an outro without the internet dying on me.
Probably not.
So, if you enjoy our stuff, give us a follow. We really appreciate it. We do more than just talk about video games for 2 hours. We're almost at 2 hours.
Yeah.
We play video games too. This week, I'm wrapping up the first game of the Ace Attorney trilogy with probably just the end of 1.5. I'll probably just stream it till I'm done Thursday.
Friday's possibly up for debate. Like, it depends on if I feel like us doing Twilight Princess or just taking a break off of it this week.
Yeah.
I don't know on that.
I forgot. I did try Roller Champions. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Me and 2 others managed to get a perfect 5-point hit.
Oh, wow.
Like the 3-lap 5 points. We got one. We grouped up, passed it to each other, like stayed in front of the other team, and we got it. Now I'm like 3-1 in right now. Like, it feels fun. I wish there was a practice mode to help practice like the rhythm of how to like keep your speed around the course. Because there's this weird hill in the track that I feel like is you have to get a specific timing for to deal with. And I've not got it yet. Which is why I say I hope this game, like, when I say I hope it has a practice mode, I don't mean the alpha. I mean the proper game gives you, here's a practice mode where you can literally go into like any of the maps and literally just practice your movement, practice your shots, practice your checking, because that's something I have a problem with, is getting to check people properly, because I keep missing. Because the window is pretty tight on that one. Or the range on that one is pretty tight. Like letting the game like set up like a little AI to go in a circle for you to try to check from different directions and at different speeds and stuff, and like jack the ball from them. Like a really good practice mode would be really nice for this game. Yeah, like I said, give us a follow. Tell people about us. We could use more people in chat, because we're really close to affiliate. We just need those average viewer numbers. If you want to know when we're live, Twitter at TG Saloon. It will let you know when we go live. Anything else?
Do we have a plan for Saturday?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Then I don't guess anything.
I'll just taking Saturday off.
No, I mean, I didn't guess I had anything added.
Okay.
Because I guess we need to figure that out.
Alright. But we will see you tomorrow, folks, for day 4, where we will do